Feiyutech recently released a couple of new gimbals to the market, the Scorp 2 and the Scorp Mini 2, and I've been using them for a number of weeks. And one of the highlights of these gimbals is that they are AI tracking gimbals. So I'm gonna take you behind the scenes today as I film in a few locations so that you can get a taste of how good these gimbals are, because sometimes looks can be deceiving. And these gimbals genuinely look and feel really good. Now the question is, are they actually any good? And these are the two gimbals, and they are very similar. They almost identical. The Scorp Mini is a little bit smaller. The Scorp 2 is bigger, has a little bit more clearance, and is targeted to bigger cameras with a bigger payload. And it can genuinely take quite a payload. The Scorp Mini is more of a hybrid gimbal for small compact cameras like these ones with lightweight lenses or smartphones, and that's really interesting. And then you have the built-in AI tracker. These gimbals have a very unique design, and it's this handle here that allows for very easy low-angle shots. And this is a design that Feiyutech seems to be rolling out to the entire range. I'm gonna show you in practical terms what it's like to be working with these two gimbals, because they are really nice. This is actually a really nice hybrid gimbal. The adjustments feel a little bit more like the Feiyutech G6 Max. You have this wheel or jog wheel that you spin, and it kind of allows the sliding mechanism for the roll axis to adjust, and it's actually really nice. The balancing of the smartphone when you put lenses, it's not that great, but it can take the payload. This axis is good. This is all perfectly balanced. It feels really smooth, I have to say. You definitely don't feel that the motors are being forced or that the gimbal is struggling with the payload. So that's actually really good. That's good to go. I'm gonna now take care of the Scorp 2. That's just about right. They just confirmed that this axis is well balanced, and that is. And I'm good to go now. There is one thing that I really like about these gimbals, and is this screen, because it's really nice and easy when you want to change the gimbal modes, because sometimes you want to lock the gimbal, you want to make sure that it's fixed in a certain direction, and even if you make any micro movements, it's gonna stay in that direction. And that's really nice because you can quickly do it here, and you can actually see the screen when you are outdoors, which is something that in the previous model I struggled with. And another thing that is really good is how easy and well implemented it is to control the camera. You can either link to the camera via Bluetooth or an USB-C cable and control the ISO, the shutter, and pretty much any essential parameters. And when it comes to the Mini, it's the same when you use a compact camera. I mean, this is a really nice gimbal, very lightweight, but it feels really solid. That's the one thing that I've noticed about these gimbals, that when you hold them and you operate them, you don't feel the motors are struggling. I genuinely like the locks for the motors. That's really nice because they're really easy to find, they're really easy to engage, and they're really solid. And some gimbals, after a while, the locks start to give way because maybe the components are not good quality. There is a really nice touch here. You can actually add counterweights if your smartphone struggles to balance on this axis because you overload with whatever accessories, lenses or filters. So the fact that you have a little thread here that you can add counterweights, that's really nice. That's a really nice touch. This handle may not be for everyone's taste, and it's definitely not the kind of gimbal that I would call travel friendly. But if you want to look professional, whether it's because you're part of a crew or you work with clients, a gimbal like this is definitely going to do that. And the quality of the materials is really good. I love the jog wheel. It's really nice and responsive. And the way you have the buttons with the hand is really nice because you can engage the jog wheel and then change if you want the roll or the pitch or the jaw. I wish they would have done something a little bit better for mounting accessories because yes, you have a thread here that you can probably get a little mount and have some other accessories, and not everybody's going to have that mount. So the fact that it doesn't have a thread somewhere or a Rosetta or something, it's not ideal. But in terms of using the gimbal, it works really well. So here I am getting ready to film in this empty top floor or penthouse, and the views, guys, you have to see the views. They are absolutely amazing. And they even have a separate kitchen for the staff away from the main one. It's just the way some people live. Anyway, going back to the gimbals, I have been very impressed with how stable the footage is from either one of these two gimbals. But if there is one thing that I miss, is the deadband adjustments. They don't have it, and it's such a shame because it genuinely makes a big difference, especially when you want to make those really nice and slow shots, and having the ability to get rid of those micro jitters. It really makes a big difference. So hopefully this is something that Fairytech can address in a firmware upgrade, because it genuinely makes a big difference. Okay, so we got the ND filter there. Let's turn the camera on. I'm gonna change the lenses. Okay, we're back in business. And now we're gonna be filming these views that you have to see because they're absolutely amazing. Can you imagine what it must be like to wake up every morning to views like this? Yeah, it certainly is an inspiration, isn't it? And there is one other feature in these two gimbals that I think is great, and it's this built-in AI tracker. And I think this is fantastic, especially if you are a solo content creator, because you can now have moving shots rather than static shots on a tripod. And this is going to be very liberating, because it will be as if you had a camera system with you at all times, whenever you want. And to illustrate this, I'm just going to record a little sequence here, arriving onto this bench here, sitting down, and then walking away. And let's see how good it all looks when I put it all together. And the first shot that we're going to do is a wide shot of myself arriving onto this bench. And let's just get this recording. And rather than position ourselves onto the middle of the frame, we want to position ourselves slightly off, because this shot is from left to right and we don't want to be dead on the middle. We want to be a slightly off frame. So we engage this now and we tell it to reposition ourselves here, okay? And off we go now. I am now here setting up the camera and the gimbal at a slightly lower angle. Press the record. And now, and look, just as I'm setting up the next shot, just don't be a stranger and hit the like button, or even better, hit the subscribe button so that you can help the channel grow. This is looking good. This is beginning to look really good. I am now gonna do a tighter shot, slightly to the right of the frame so that it looks natural, and then I'm gonna do a wide shot as I walk off, and that will be it. And let's see what this looks like in the edit. So what do I think about these gimbals then? Because this is not what I would call a traveling gimbal, and I don't think they were designed with that in mind. They're designed for people who take working with a gimbal seriously, because they look and feel professional. And look, the Scorp Mini, for instance, if you are someone that films with your smartphone, this is a fantastic gimbal. You can also add a compact mirrorless camera with a compact lens and it will work amazing. And I have been able to put this payload on the Scorp Mini and it will take it. So that shows you how good this gimbal is. But if you're looking at higher payloads, like, I don't know, you might have an FX3 camera with a 24-70 or longer lens, the Scorp 2 is the way to go. Either one of these two gimbals, in my opinion, are amazing. The AI tracking works really well. It's maybe a little bit too snappy in my opinion, but it works really well. You've seen the little sequence that I've given you, and I think as a content creator, these two gimbals are fantastic. Yes, the shape might not be for everyone, but performance-wise, they are fantastic. And ultimately, that's what counts.